Hey there, everyone. Thanks for listening to Limited Engagement. I'm your host for the show, Jared Duran. My guests on this episode are Diehl and Melissa Goodrich, who together wrote a collection of short stories called The Classroom. And we'll get to that in just a sec here. I'm going to try getting some of the business out of the way at the top. That'll make the ending even shorter. You can always go listen to the show, obviously, wherever you'd like. There is a website that needs to be updated by me, ltdengagementpod.com. You can listen to all the old episodes there, except for the first year, which are currently archived, and will be made available on Patreon for $5 plus per month supporters. So if you're interested in that at all, you can go to patreon.com/hootandwaddle. You can contribute as much as you like, anything over $1 a month. Anything is always appreciated, but exclusive things for patrons begin at $5 a month. So if you're interested in supporting, consider doing that. If you are interested in contacting me for any reason for the show, to say hi, to give feedback, to suggest a guest, if you want to be a guest, you can email ltd.engagement@gmail.com. For social media purposes, Twitter is where I express most thoughts that I share with social media, and that's at @LTD_engagement. Facebook and Instagram, just LTD engagement. Please rate and review the podcast anywhere you listen to it, but especially on Apple Podcasts. That helps a lot, and thanks to those of you that have done already. I think that's all of it. That sound right? I'm not used to doing that all up top. Doesn't feel quite right yet, but I think it's the place to do it. Because it's before I lose you guys with whatever story I'm telling for the week. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about this week. Other than gearing up for the live What the Fork podcast, which by the time this goes up will already have happened. So if you came to that, thank you. If you didn't come, I understand. Things happen. Life happens. Can't always make it to everything you want to. But I will assume that it was a blast and that I had no reason to be nervous or worry whatsoever. And you know what? I'm actually not worried at all. I have a lot of fun doing that show. It's basically just talking with my friend about a show that I enjoy watching, and then a bunch of other random tangential things. And I love talking to Amy Young, and she's going to be our guest for that show, or will have already been our guest for that show again, because this is, in the past already. It was. There are a lot of cool things about it. I'm looking forward to being involved in something that is a part of the Fan Fusion experience. I'm really looking forward to being in that Zia pop-up shop. And I don't know. I don't have the nerves that I used to. Years ago, I wouldn't have been able to. Well, I don't know if about wouldn't have been able to, but it would have been very nerve-wracking for me, certainly, to do a show like that live, or a stage thing, and but I got pretty used to it, doing this for a year and reading out at poetry things, and I don't know if I've just developed an immunity to whatever nervousness I have. There's always a little bit. It never completely goes away. And who knows what I'll be like the day of the show. I'll talk to you about that after that. I forgot to turn off the air conditioning. My apologies. I'm not getting up to turn it off right now. you're just going to have to deal with it a little bit. This is almost over. Where was I? What was I saying with that? Oh yeah. Anyway, I feel pretty comfortable, and which is something that I never thought that I would say about that, but so we'll see how it goes. It's kind of a big deal. It was cool to get asked to do something like that. It makes me feel like, the work that I'm doing, that has merit, that it has quality, that people are interested in getting involved with, and that means a lot, because I work really fucking hard at it, and also nonstop. I need to figure out a way to take a little break in here. And I don't know if that means just working extra hard for a while and banking a bunch of these and prepping them ahead of time so that I can have a few weekends where I'm not, spending hours prepping this stuff and posting it and all of that. We'll see. But yeah, I need just a little break. I was discussing this the other night. It's like when I'm not working, I'm also working. So there's just only so much time in the day. And but at least this is something that I enjoy working on. But it's still work. I need a little mental break. I think that's a pretty common topic for me, isn't it? I don't know. You'd have to send feedback. Email me at ltd.engagement@gmail.com. But I feel like I'm saying I need a break a lot and yet not taking it. But here in the Summer of Jared, I am going to take a break. I'm going to get out, go for a weekend, drive out with somebody I want to spend time with, and we're going to lay out on the beach together, and I'm not going to have a fucking podcast to post. Because I'll have already posted it. Or scheduled it, or whatever. Technology is great, isn't it? I can edit these things and schedule them to post whenever the hell I want. It's wonderful. But anyhow, that's probably enough of that at this point. Back to my guests for today, though. Diehl and Melissa Goodrich, who, as I mentioned, have written a really fantastic collection of short stories. I can't recommend it highly enough. Called The Classroom, which is available from Goldwake Press. And it's, collaborative books are hit or miss. This is definitely a hit for me. They have a seamless voice. You can't tell who's done what. And we talk about that here in the show. But you should pick up a copy of The Classroom wherever you get books, and read it and recommend it to other people so that they can read it too. Like I said, I enjoyed it immensely. I think it's a great collection. I think these two people are great writers. It was really fun talking to them. Dana has been on the show before. You can go back and listen to that episode. But this was the first time I'd really met and talked to Melissa, and it was I had a lot of fun talking to them. It was really nice to meet Melissa for the first time, and kind of, we touched on a lot of stuff, and I see no need to delay you hearing that conversation any further. So enjoy that, and I'll talk to you briefly on the other side. To do radio announcer voice and get all smoky, but no. That's it's been this is actually just this month. It's 4 years now of doing this, and I still don't like hearing the sound of my own voice. So it's just very off-putting to me.
Just the 4th anniversary of hearing your own voice.
Pretty much, actually, yeah, just about. It was some point in mid-May. Mm-hmm. So how are you guys enjoying this weather, right? It's kind of crazy that it's mid-May and we're not all dissolving in puddles outside yet.
I love it.
No, it's the best.
It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm. We're still getting rain. We had like rain last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Super windy last week.
I feel like Tucson gets a little more weather than we do.
Yeah, I think so.
But all right, so the voices that you guys are hearing are Dana Diehl and Melissa Goodrich.
Hello.
And hello. I don't even know why I did that. I don't normally do introductions like that, but here I've done it. Let's. So how did you? We'll just get into it. How did you guys meet?
So we met in undergrad at Susquehanna University in Pennsylvania.
The creative writing program.
Yeah,
there.
That's right.
And Melissa was a year ahead of me. And so the creative writing program was really close, but we took some workshops together.
Yeah, and we ended up co-editing the Susquehanna Review, which was like our national undergraduate literary magazine, which was pretty fun.
We also lived together for a summer.
Oh, yeah,
we were both
did.
working on campus, so we rented.
We subletted from another
near the
professor
near the Susquehanna River. Yeah, and then so our lives have weirdly paralleled each other. And Melissa told me something about what your mom said. Tell that story.
My mom said that she thinks we are soulmates and knew each other in another life because our lives have lined up, because we both left Pennsylvania and came to different schools in Arizona for grad school, and then both ended up living in Tucson, and then both ended up teaching elementary school at the same school.
That's pretty insane.
But it's been great. It's just like, one of my favorite people is just in my life for a very long time.
So it felt pretty natural to collaborate, because we're like, well, we have similar educations. Mm-hmm. Our lives kind of keep pushing us to the same place.
Sure. How did the concept for this book come about?
Well, we were both teaching. I was teaching 4th, and Dana was teaching second and 3rd. And as elementary school teachers, we just weren't writing very much. And as writers who weren't writing, we were both talking to each other about how that felt pretty shitty. And then I don't know if the order of things, but we started sending each other prompts during the school day and just said, okay, I'm ordering you to write a story in your planning period. Here's
like in
your
the
prompt.
10 or 15 minutes that you have, just like type it into
this email.
Yeah.
And just send it to me. And we would just send each other like, okay, I heard a kid say this today. Respond to that. Or like, I don't remember what we ended up writing about. Like,
one of us wrote a story about lice.
Oh, yeah. I did write a lice story. And wasn't there like a monkey in a classroom?
Yeah, so it's weird. Kids have a lot of reasons to dress up in costume.
Sure.
And
okay.
it's weird sometimes going to work, and it's a normal part of the workday that everyone is dressed up like an animal or a superhero, and sometimes you are too. And so I think one of those stories I wrote that never became anything was about like, what if these, characters that they're dressed up as were your actual students?
Huh.
And sorry, go ahead.
No, please finish.
I think a lot of our stories, once we started collaborating, started in that way, where there's this weird sort of make-believe universe underneath, the real world universe at school, because there's a lot of pretend and playing games with young kids, and they're always pretending and coming up with like weird theories about their teachers and like rumors about the school and secret classrooms. And we both love school. We loved our students, and we found a lot of inspiration in that. So a lot of our stories started with that idea of, what if these ideas that these kids have actually were true?
So where did the like the worksheets come into it? Because there are these throughout the book. Each one is has as an end to it this kind of cool worksheet idea. And at first I was like, is it an actual worksheet? And then as I'm continuing to read through, I'm like, no, there's no way some kid filled this out. But it seems, especially after reading the first story, that a kid totally could have been responding to this prompt of this Android boys or
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.